Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
This is our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Check out our podcast also below in the description.
All right, as we're doing our podcast, John, did you see this? Twitter is noticing that Josh Gordon posted a photo of him and Niners assistant Mike McDaniel when Gordon was a Seahawk, McDaniel a Niner, and he just captioned it brotherly. Now, are we still waiting on his reinstatement?
Yes,
like
the
it's been a
last
week on that.
I googled it as you were talking, and it says they're still waiting on word from the league. It's a little difficult, right, to keep up with Josh Gordon's career.
It is, yeah.
He missed several years. The last couple, remember Cleveland, and then they cut him, I think, or traded him to New England because he spent some time with New England in 18. He obviously started off in New England in 18. Then he got traded to Seattle or cut with Seattle. I can't keep up with the guy. I just know that he's played the last couple years. He had 27 catches last year. He had 41 the year before. He scored 5 touchdowns the last 2 years. You know, he's kind of living off this reputation in the sense of his second year in the league in 2013. He had 87 catches, 1,600 yards, and 9 touchdowns. It's an incredible year, right? Pro Bowl, elite level year. And then since he's battled weed, I think it's just weed. He always failed. Now, I don't think they're not testing for it anymore, but I don't know the rules and the program. The Niners would know him. Kyle was there when he was there, but I don't know. I don't like my reaction on guys like this is I'm always kind of out. Like I understand if you're desperate. I mean, the Niners are signing Kevin White, so they're really desperate. But you're not going to sign a guy when you don't know if he can't. Like the Niners aren't in the business of signing a guy if he's out. Right? If Josh Gordon was available, they probably would have signed him. But he's not.
If he had been reinstated when they were looking for guys, you're saying.
Yeah, they're looking for guys that they might need to use. Like Kevin White, it's not inconceivable is dressed out week 1, right?
Yeah, which is crazy.
So
River Craycraft.
To me, until they find out if he's eligible to play week 1, I don't think they can't justify using a roster spot just because they're kind of in a free-for-all situation at wide receiver, correct?
Yes. Yep. His year that you quoted, the 2013 year, where he led the league in yards, John, Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel did not show up in Cleveland until the next year.
So they were not around.
They were not there for that. Can you name the quarterback that started the most games in Cleveland in 2013?
I'm going to go with...
I'll give you the 2 backups who also started games. Brian Hoyer started 3 games. Brandon Weeden started 5 games. This guy started 8 games.
Johnny Football.
You're too early. 2013. Starts with a J, though. Played for the Raiders. Played in Washington.
Oh, Jason Campbell.
Yeah. The year that
I never would. If you said what teams did Jason Campbell play for, I would have been like Raiders, Redskins. I would have ended there.
The football team.
Raiders
and football team. Just football team. His year with Kyle, he only played in 5 games. Then he missed 15. Then he missed 16. Suspended. Then he came back, played 5 games.
So Kyle and McDaniels know him.
McDaniel, yeah. Mike McDaniel.
Yep. Mike McDaniel, who's the passing game coordinator.
So, so he does this Instagram post showing the photo. I mean, is he telling us he's about to sign? Like, they had Jaron or Jaron. I know there's 2 of them. Whichever one the Niners had, they cut already to make room for Craycraft and Kevin White.
Must have been a rough couple days for Brown.
I'm with you. Josh Gordon is 29 years old. It's crazy. I don't know what maybe you could argue there's not a lot of downside here. I would argue I don't think there's much upside, but again, the Niners are going, hey, look at the situation we're in.
Well, he's an NFL player. I mean, he has almost 70 catches the last 2 years. You'd take him over River Craycraft. You'd take him over Kevin White. You'd take him over some of the guys they're using right now. But the reality is when Ayuk comes back, when Debo comes back, when Richie James comes back, on top of Kendrick Bourne and maybe Pettis, like that's kind of the group. Now, is Josh Gordon better than Pettis? Maybe, right?
Maybe, but the question is, do you, if you know you can get whatever, let's say Pettis is better, and you get 75 out of Pettis or 70. I'm just making an arbitrary number for performance.
Not catches.
No. Yeah, just you get a 70 performance on a 100 scale. Is it worth trying to get 85 out of Josh Gordon, but also know if you get rid of Pettis, you can't get him back if Gordon gets suspended in a month?
Yeah, I'm simple. I'm just out. I don't do this. I don't do the always guessing, the holding. I don't do it. That was always my player personnel stance. Once he gets to this point, right? I understand when Jack Del Rio signs Holden. I'm all for second chances, and even dealing with some older players. Seeing if a guy's got anything left. The roller coaster ride of this guy, and listen, it's just weed. I'm pro weed, but clearly I've always read that it was more than that and just other things. I root for the guy. I want him to be healthy in life. I'm trying to win football games.
One thing
I need people like that.
Isn't it interesting that the two teams that have given him a shot post Cleveland are really, really high level organizations, right? New England and Seattle.
Very desperate both for wide receivers.
Very desperate for wide receivers. The 49ers are desperate for wide receivers right now, but maybe not long term.
They were desperate in season both times. Like, it's a little different. I think when the game hasn't been played, you can kind of just it's a different mindset. If this was week 7 and they were 3-3 and it was their offense was shitty, I might change my tactic. But going into week 1 at 0-0, like with an easy schedule to start and those guys coming back, let's see what we can do.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think it changes the conversation being that it's week 0.
That's a very good point. It feels a little early to start grasping. Now, you would argue, well, these guys, maybe it's less of a grasp for them if they know him, right? If they feel like
it's not grasping like they know they've been around the human.
But
it's
more to me, the grasp is just it's so the track record right now is unreliable, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
And can you afford to be in a position where you're just trying to find some stability because of all these injuries you've had? How much effort can you invest into a player that, to this point, has not shown he's been able to stick around?
No for me.
And for that reason, I'm out. Shark Tank.
Yeah.
All right. Let us know what you think. Would you be in on Josh Gordon? All that said, by the way, I wouldn't be shocked to see it happen. But just given that post makes you think maybe there's been some talk.
Yeah. Social media, it's hard to put much stock into.
All right. Let us know what you think down in the comments below.